If you don't quit, you can't lose. Is that yeah? Basically what I meant is, I mean, you can't lose if you don't quit. I failed many times, and I'm still failing till this day. You know, and I'm pretty sure all these big gurus are still failing. Like that's part of fucking life. And the only time you fail is when you give up and you're like, "Fuck my dreams. I'm gonna go work this job, and then, fuck everything. I'm gonna just do this for the next 70 years of my life." That's I feel like that's when you fail because you gave up on everything. You gave up on yourself. You gave up on your dream. You gave up on your business. You gave up on your relationships. You gave up on your future self. You gave up on your sons, your daughters. You gave up on your grandchildren. You gave up on everything. You're a fucking geek. So I honestly think that that's what I mean. Because no matter what, one way or the other, if you're continuing and you keep going, God's gonna look down upon you and he's gonna be like, he's eventually gonna give it to you because he sees that you're actually trying. And that, I mean, if you're actually trying, not just thinking, oh, I want to be a closer, but you're not putting out DMs. You're not shooting, you're not outreaching, you're not doing anything. Okay, everybody wants to be something. Shit, like, everybody wants to be something, but it's the action that's what's going to get you results. So failure is a part of the process. I like to think of it, the more I fail, the better man I become, because the more pain and the more failure, the more lessons, and the more lessons, the better you're going to become, and you're going to know how to maneuver around certain things. So that's what I mean. It's very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Life is very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Like getting a six pack. It's not easy. It's simple. Calorie deficit, cardio, lift weights, get enough sleep. Done. Clean diet, done. Simple, not easy. Getting to start throwing up 400 pounds. Simple, eventually, put on more weight, put a little bit more weight, put a little bit more weight, put a little bit more weight. Simple, not easy, you know? So, of course, everything's not going to be easy in life, but it's very simple.
What would you define as failure?
Ooh, that's a good question. What I would define as failure. What I would define as failure is, well, there's two contexts. Failure as in you're continuing to go, but you didn't get the outcome you desired. So that could be counted as a little fail. Let's say we got this client, I got him on to the call, but we just weren't able to close. That's a fail. But you're still going. And then there's a second one where you completely failed. You gave up. You're done. Let's put it into fitness. You started 2 months. You're doing amazing. You're going to the gym 6 days a week. You were eating right. You're doing this, but then something happened, and now you stopped going. You failed, and then you stop completely. You go like this, and then you just done. That's that in that sense, that's failure. But in the sense where you are working out, you bench 185 and then you go for 225, but you fail it. But you do 185, you're benching it, you fail. You go for 225, you fail, but then the next week you go again and then you succeed. So there's always two senses. There's complete failure, and then there's the sense of a little setback failure. So the worst one is the second one. Don't, and then completely stop. That's the worst one that can happen.
What failure have you learned the most from?
I'd say my failed businesses, because I always had, you on social media they say, oh, you make 10K a month, and then when you realize how hard it is, and you're like, fuck, they make it seem so simple, and then you go and then you lose clients, and then you lose relationships, and then everything just goes to shit. You lose your employee, and it's like, fuck, and then everything just goes to shit. Now you're out of business. That I'd say it is the biggest failure, and that's when you have to go back to the drawing board and actually look at it. I mean, like, okay, so this is what I have to do next time to make it better. And I feel that I'll take that as a win, honestly, because if you're able to fail faster and understand what's wrong and then going at it again, you're going to win faster. So if the faster you fail, the faster you're going to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Was there one event, one failure or setback, or whatever you call it, that happened in
Um,
your businesses?
I have to think. One of the, I'd say, I think it was on my Facebook ad agency. I actually had like 2 clients and I had a media buyer, and everything just went to shit. The media buyer just disappeared, stopped texting, ghosted me, and then the clients weren't happy, and then I had to figure out how to do it, and then I was trying to figure out how to do it. It went to shit. And then both of them left, and then I was back to square one. And then I did a more researching and, finding out the best. Like I said, it's like a business boom fail. Like everything, my employees left, and then my clients left, and then I'm back to square one, and now I had to figure out what the fuck to do. And from there, I decided to pivot, and then from that sense, after that happened, I went out. I'm by God's grace, I met someone, and then from there, we became business partners. And then from there, the asphalt company came in. But from there, the failure, if I didn't fail, I wouldn't know how to maneuver on my next venture. So that event of me, starting the agency and is losing my clients, and then from there losing my employee, and then going back to square zero, and then I'm over here bragging, and then everything went to shit. You know how freaking much that hurts my ego when you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, and then the next freaking week or two, you're like, so how's that going? It's like, well, it sucks. It really sucks, and it takes a hit to the ego. Like um I wouldn't say it was a failure, but I remember when I was going for this sales job, I got arrested on the day of the interview. So I got locked up. I went to jail for street racing or whatever. Um, Locked up, went to jail. But then the next day, I thought I lost everything. I thought I was like, dang, I didn't get this. I wasn't able to get this sales gig. Everything failed. Everything sucks. And the next day I was able to eventually land it. And the funny thing is, he was like, wow, so you actually got arrested for, coming to my interview. That shows guts, that shows ambition. And then from there, I was able to get it. So, from failure to success. So every time you fail, there has to be some success. It's the yin and yang, you know? So that's what I would say would be my event.
What was happening internally when, the agency was crumbling?
Frustration, anxiety, um, thinking about, I'd say mostly of the outcome of what people would say. More of like, shoot, like I need to be this. This is who I think I am. And also internally, people see me as this, but then I'm over here like at that moment, I'm like, shoot, I'm down here now. And from there, I also realized that it's fuck everybody. It's like social media. People put this picture up, but it's not what they really are. So from there, I also learned to stop giving a fuck about what people think and giving a fuck about what I think of myself. And from there, under, uh, understanding what failure feels like, understanding that how that really sits on me, and getting comfortable with it, because you have to be comfortable with it. So when I finally got comfortable with failing it, and in my mind, my mind's racing 100 miles per hour. I could barely fucking sleep because I'm over here like, shit, I got clients and I can't fulfill all their service. And next thing you know, they fucking leave. And then it just sucks. It takes a hit to my ego and to me and to my pride and to who I think I am, and me thinking I'm this when I'm really not this yet. And that's what really, I really had to sit back and get comfortable with failure.
What was something that you learned from seeing that agency crumble, seeing your media buyer leave, and then seeing your clients leave as well, and then everything just going down, ego gone?
Be grateful. You have to be grateful for every minute, and no matter what, anything could go to shit. No matter how good everything looks, like, um, there's big companies like Carvana that went bankrupt, and it's a multi-million-dollar company. There's big companies that always go bankrupt. So there's, in business, not everything is set in stone. It's not It's not you do this and now it's this forever. You're dealing with people. People are emotional. Humans are emotional creatures. So if you're dealing with people and your business is people, it's not going to be like this. It's going to be like this, because that's how people are. So one day people want this, the next month it's this, and then the next month is this. So you got to understand and always have a plan. You got to play it like chess. You got to be like, okay, if I do this 5 moves ahead, what can I do and how can I prevent? You got to make solutions for every scenario and for every outcome or every move that you do also. So every outcome, scenario, and move that you make, you got to think ahead.